Hello, I'm Amy Zawi for the August 5th Friday Red Alert for the Jerusalem Connection Report. Is the peace process one-sided? In July, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu publicly gave a speech and wrote an open letter to President Abbas asking for particular points for him to take to bring peace or help bring peace to the Middle East. In this appeal, he cited very specific events of Palestinian leadership inciting genocide and violence, including Abbas's aide, who had a public edict that people should slit the throats of Israelis, and but days later, a 13-year-old girl, while in her bed sleeping, was indeed murdered by a slit throat from an intruder, a Palestinian intruder. Also, terrorists who have died in their activities have been hailed as martyred, glorified on Facebook, statues have been erected in their honor, and families are being paid for their actions. As well, Palestinian Media Watch has decades of documentation of preschool and grade school curriculums and media programming in the Palestinian territories that indoctrinate children to hate Jews, seek their blood, and be willing to die in that process. In the West, any such curriculum being used in any school would be deemed, of course, child abuse. These groups are all fuel behind the BDS movement, who are seeking a so-called justice for Palestinians. And they cite the nation of Israel and the Jewish people as the only source of the Palestinians' woes. This movement claims the banner of human rights and activism, fighting oppression and the ills of all the Palestinians. But again, they only see Israel and the Jews as the origin of any said problems. This, by definition, of course, is anti-Semitism. If these groups were honest in their desire to help the Palestinians and bring justice and freedom and remove them from oppression, they would demand of the Palestinian leadership the same demands or requests that Benjamin Netanyahu made in July. They would include the leadership denounce violence of all sorts and an inherent hatred towards the Jewish people and the state of Israel. They would fire or dismiss anyone in leadership that was publicly inciting violence, encouraging it, and leading to the death of Jews. They would discourage future attacks by not rewarding terrorists for that activities in any way, shape, or form. They would openly call for Palestinians to decide to live and work and coexist with Israelis and do business with them and prosper. As well, the BDS movement activists should be knee-deep in the curriculums that preschool and grade school children are receiving in these areas, because they would see that it is a core piece of what leads to cyclical generational discord. Where are these student groups and BDS activists when it comes to the issues of human rights, women's rights, or the rights of Christian minorities in these areas, and the particular forms of abuse and oppression that they feel? These are certainly not at the hands of Israelis, but yet those particular Palestinians don't count as far as their agenda. There is no call from these groups, these Palestinian justice groups and BDS activists, to change anything from the Palestinian leadership or culture or societal point of view. It is always only the Israelis that hold this hot potato of violence and oppression. But indeed, it is the Palestinian leadership who hold that hot potato. And these groups, if they were honest, would at the very least also include Palestinian leadership in their demands and efforts to seek some sort of peace in the Middle East. Now, American students have but one thing to stop this poisonous idea from entering into their minds and hearts, and that would be reason and knowledge. And through prayer, we can all pray for college students to have that discernment, that the propaganda and the one-sided approach to this so-called peace process the BDS movement wants to usher in is erroneous, based on lies, and anti-Semitic. I also challenge the BDS movement and its various subgroups openly to go after the Palestinian leadership with the same vigor that they seem to go after the state of Israel in terms of asking for change of behavior and policy changes in order to get this peace process truly underway. One of the things the BDS movement say is that Palestinians are oppressed. I have been to Israel and I have interviewed Arabs, Christian Palestinians, and the like, and all have requested that my report on what they have told me be with anonymity. And even other news agencies who report Arabs and Palestinians in the West Bank, in Gaza, or in Israel, they all say the same thing. Israel is the best place to live, and it is under the Palestinian leadership they suffer, but they are afraid to say those things publicly because people who do are presented with serious backlash. Now, who is really the oppressor in that case? Again, BDS movement, if you want some peace in the Middle East, at least be honest and two-pronged in your approach to who holds the hot potato on the problems that impede or are the obstacles to peace amongst the Palestinians and the Jewish people in the land. Shavua Tov. Have a great week. Shabbat Shalom.